In our first story, rescue and search operations continue as 14 illegal miners remain trapped in a mining pit at Pristia and Suta in the western region after a heavy downpour yesterday. About 19 of these illegal miners were trapped since yesterday after the mine collapsed on them. So far, only 5 of the miners were successfully rescued from the collapsed pit. According to the police in the area, although rescue efforts are still underway, it's not clear if the trapped victims are still alive or dead. We will go live to the area for the latest update on the situation. But first, here is the Nsuta District Police Commander, Superintendent Achu Jinaku, who confirmed the incident to my colleague Evans Mensah a while ago.
Yeah, according to our investigation and from the committee chairman, Mr. Nkrumah, he gave us 14 trapped and 2 interrogation tools. We were able to talk to 5 of those unhurt from the pit. They managed to escape the death. So we were able to talk to 5 of them about what happened. So they told us that they were coming to eat. They came for their supper, and they heard a sound or a noise. So they realized the 2 pits cast in. And those coming up, those behind were trapped. There are about 14. And the rest escaped unhurt. And there are many. But in fact, we were able to talk to this morning.
We can now speak to Best FM's Kojo Fletcher for the latest update on the mine collapse leading to the trapping of some miners. Kojo, good evening to you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Araba.
Good. Now, is the rescue mission still underway?
Yes, they are still underway, and they are working hard to get the 14 out as of now. And the latest I'm also getting is that 2 pits rather collapsed, so it's making it difficult for them to get to the belly of the earth to get them out. And as I speak to you right now, the 14 people are still down there, and we don't have any professional rescue teams there, but I can say that we have the Galanteers who know where the exit of the pit were. So they are trying to see if they'll be able to get their fellow colleagues out as at now. The pit, I learned, collapsed yesterday around 5 in the PM, but was reported to the police around 10 PM. So since this morning, they started searching for the bodies, but all their search have proved futile.
And Kojo, is there police presence in the area at all? Because earlier when we spoke to them, they did say that they will be undertaking the rescue mission with the Galamsey operators in the area. Are they still there?
No, they were not there. As at the time that I left there, they were not there. The police, I can't do anything about it because they will not know where the people were trapped or where the pit, the exit of the pit, where they passed through to the belly of the earth to search for remnants of gold. So those who can do the job right now are their colleagues who also were there with them, because speaking to them, they will be telling you this is where you have to pass, they pass here, and I mean, they'll be showing you all the points that they could be using to get them. But since the time I left there around 5 PM, excavators were still digging, and it is not found anybody there.
And what's the mood in the area? I mean, I imagine that, the families of these persons who've gone missing are troubled.
Yes, the families, of course, are mourning. They are troubled. You can just see the sadness on their faces. But apart from those who are bereaved, who may think that their families are involved or trapped there, apart from them, the residents, some of them seem to be very cool. They are not putting up any mood of sadness, because they may find that it's one of those things that happen there most often, and that this is not news to them. So apart from the families who may be bereaved, the residents there, most of them are cool with the situation, because it has happened many times.
You did say that the Galamsey operators are the ones who are undertaking this rescue mission. Now, what's the likelihood that the 14 will be, found alive?
Speaking to the assembly member there, Adama Williams, he told me that it's about 350 feet down, according to him, and that it will be difficult because they are now certain it will be difficult. They are hoping that by tomorrow morning they might have found somebody that may lead them to the rest. However, if they are unable to do so, they will call on the chiefs and other state institutions like NADMO for them to come around and see whether they just bury them under the pit or anything that they be able to do about it. So other than that, they are searching, they are waiting that tomorrow morning maybe they get somebody out and lead them to the rest. Until then, they can't do anything.
Many thanks. That is correspondent Kojo Fletcher. He's with Takoradi based or Western region based Best FM, bringing us that update on the situation in Suta, where 14 people have been trapped after the Galamsey pit, caved in on them. Let's move on. Now, hundreds of residents have been displaced in Dunkwa on Ofin in the central region as River Ofin overflowed its banks. The heavy flood affected many people, including the chief of the community. Several properties, including farms and fish ponds, have been destroyed. The chief of Dunkwa on Ofin, who was affected by the flood, spoke to Adum News correspondent. Listen.
Yes, it's true that the half of my town has been flooded by the rain or the rivers. The rain, how the rain is falling, it has taken us, and I myself is included. It has taken my fish pond, my rice farming, about 10 acres of rice farm. It has taken all of them. And not I alone, because it has taken a lot of people. You have seen my neighbors here. They are all waiting for the rain to come before. Not that they want to wait for, because they don't know where they are going. If they say they are packing their things and they are going, where are they going? That's why they are waiting, so that if God will help us, that the rain will never come to their rooms and something like that.
And as you heard, that the chief said that the residents were also affected by this incident, and some of them have been recounting their ordeal to Joy News.
The riverbed has become shallow, so the flood waters supposed to pass through it actually moved over the banks of the river and invaded our township. Everything here has now been submerged in water.
The rains have destroyed several properties. Our kids, our husbands, everyone has been affected here. Farmlands, livestock, and many more have been destroyed.
And from the central region, let's move to the eastern region, where residents of Nkrumah are appealing to government to extend electricity to the area. The community is inhabited by more than 1,500 people. According to traditional leaders, all efforts to draw the attention of government to their plight has proven futile. The result, public workers posted there are refusing to work there. Joseph Opokugapo was in the community and has filed the following report.
Nkrumah is one of the oldest communities in the Ayinswa North District of the Eastern Region. It's a farming community with residents growing mainly cocoa and maize. For residents here, their biggest headache is that more than 60 years after the construction of the Akosombo Dam, they are yet to see electricity, leaving them disappointed in political authority. Ochameng Bedu is the chief linguist in the community.
We have
been looking forward to light since the time of former President Rawlings. We have been made to pay lots of money for this, but we still don't have light. Doctors and other health workers refuse posting here because they can't even own a fridge to keep their food.
For the Queen Mother here, Ohima Boche, the plight of school children, with them being unable to learn at night, is a problem that requires urgent attention. She feels Nkrumah has been neglected because all nearby communities have benefited from electricity extension over the last few years.
We have JHS and even a clinic here, but children are unable to learn at night, thereby affecting their education. We plead with government to intervene as soon as possible and help extend lights here.
A resident, Isaac Opare, is worried the community has not developed socio-economically over the years as a result of the absence of electricity.
Most of the teachers live in nearby communities. Sometimes they don't come to work, so it makes life difficult for us. In fact, the general development of the community has been negatively affected as a result of the absence of electricity. We want government to help us.
Their plea is simple. They are calling for an immediate intervention by the Rural Electrification Project so that electricity is extended there. For Joy News, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo reporting.
Now let's go to Aboabo in the Ashanti region because information trickling into Joy News suggests a suspect has been gunned down there. It's in the Asokore Mampong municipality, after a fierce gun battle with police officers. It's not clear what led to this incident, but my colleague Ohiming Teria of Inshira FM joins us on the line now with details. Ohiming, so who is this suspect and what are the circumstances leading to the shootout with the police?
Yes, Araba, for now, the identity of this suspect is still unknown, but I have been briefed by people who were, from police forces, and according to the police forces, 6 police officers from the Regional Anti-Robbery Task Force were today hinted of the presence of an armed robber who had been on the police wanted list. He has been identified as Bassett. So he's resurfaced in the Aboabo community. So police in the case of the members of the force went there in mostly in a taxi with the sole aim of arresting this Bassett. He was accosted and arrested in the process. But in the process, he said something that also invited members of his gang to arm themselves against the police. So a shootout ensued between the armed robbery gang and the police officers in broad daylight in Aboabo, leading to the death of this unidentified suspect who is yet to be named by the police. I can also confirm that indeed one of the police officers identified as Corporal Frederick was also wounded. He was hit by the gunshots of this robbery gang, and he was admitted at the Konfano precisely at the Accident and Emergency Center. So for now, Bassett, on several occasions, has managed to outwit police arrest. As we speak now, he's nowhere to be found. Just that a member of this gang has been shot dead by the police anti-robbery task force. However, another development is that right after this unidentified man was shot by the police, relatives of the deceased went to the police to report that some people have killed him. So in the process, his father and another man, and also a sister to the suspected armed robber, were arrested by the police. So for now, 3 people are in custody in relation to this shootout at Aboabo Akre.
Okay, very quickly, Ohiming, what is the mood in the area? Because I understand that this gang has been terrorizing residents there.
That is the information I also picked. I'm told this Bassett man in previous occasions, have done a lot, committed a lot of crimes against the people of Abu Abu. For instance, I'm told he, at one point, buried somebody alive, and that some person was rescued by the police. So this has culminated in the police declaring him as being a wanted person. So for almost 2 years, the police say he has been living, always awaiting them. So he left the entire Abu Abu community for Accra, and I'm told just this morning he returned and resurfaced in the community. That is where a tip-off was given to the police, and police followed up. Even though police were in Mufti, they decided to pursue this bastard man who, together with gangs, has been terrorizing the people of Abu Abu. But unfortunately, he has managed to outwit police in this occasion. And so the Regional Police Command will organize a press conference tomorrow to throw more light on the activities of Bastard and his gang and how they have been operating the Kumasi metropolis and the entire Ashanti region, Araba.
All right, many thanks. Ohim Interior is with Insura FM bringing us that update. And the news is that police in Kumasi have shot dead a suspected armed robber. We're taking a break, but still ahead, new Chief Executive Officer of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital reveals National Health Insurance Authority owes the Premier Hospital some 14 million cedis.
We know the issues that the NHI is facing. We will be talking to them. But I think that what we do as in terms of business practice is to look at alternate areas.
We have details and business. Stay with us. You're welcome to Joy News Prime. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital has revealed the National Health Insurance Authority owes the hospital some 14 million cedis. Dr. Felix Anya says although management is in talks with the NHIA to retrieve the amount, they intend to employ innovative ways to generate funds for various projects. The last time the hospital received any payment from the NHIA was in July 2016. He was speaking to Joy News' Adelaide Arthur in an exclusive interview.
We know the issues that the NHI is facing. We will be talking to them. But I think that what we do as in terms of business practice is to look at alternate areas. For example, medical tourism, that is our area. We should look at, there are 4 layers by which we get our revenue. The NHIs, the out-of-pocket, the private people, but the biggest that we should consider are the private people who come to pay. We have, this is a specialized quaternary care facility. We have facilities that we have ready market in Nigeria. We have ready market in Togo, Benin. We have ready market in most African countries. Ghana is at the center of this world. We have so many heart patients in, say, Britain, Canada, and the rest. We charge most of the areas that are, if you look at cardio, and Cuba, and India, and Thailand, the charges we charge are about the same charges that they have. There are other components built in, so that we charge about probably 10 to 15% of their charges. There are so many people who would like to come here to cardio, to orthopedic, to plastic unit. Those are the people we are looking at now. We have to improve our systems. We have to build our human resource. And we should be able to market ourselves to be able to bring this people in.
You've indicated innovative ways to generate funds, but the question is, still the NHIA owes you. How have you started any discussions with them to retrieve those monies, because you need the money?
I'm a businessman. In terms of strategy, we understand, we are talking to them. But the best thing to do is to be able to diversify. In the long run, I'm not looking at NHIS. In the long run, we're looking at if we could position ourselves as a prime medical tourist destination, we will get much more than NHIS.
new CEO also indicated key issues bedeviling the hospital include the absence of a legislative instrument to guide its management.
You find that the Kolubu's relationship with, say, the medical school, Kolubu's relationship with the College of Health Sciences or the external bodies are not defined because there are no policies, no LI, and so no policies that guide it. So the biggest issue facing Kolubu is that there's no LI, and it is something that has to be done quickly. For an act that is more than 25 years, 21 years, there must be a legislative instrument that really speaks into the act and tells us what is the intention of the various layers of the act.
Another key problem Dr. Anyao wants halted is the practice of planning projects meant for the hospital at the Ministry of Health without the involvement of technical staff.
There's a situation where projects are dumped into Kolubu without the involvement of the technical people in Kolubu. It is as pervasive and as difficult to conceptualize why it is like that. It has made room for so many projects that have been dumped into Kolubu that are not working. And so if the IGFs that are limited and need to be used to do other things are being diverted into using some projects that are being brought in by the ministry, or especially Ministry of Health, that don't work. And most of these things should have the involvement of the technical professionals in Kolubu. It should not be that projects are cooked, quote unquote, from the ministry and dumped on Kolubu. We can have the oxygen plant. We see the surgical and medical emergency. There's so many projects that have been dumped that are not working. And I think that is one of the second issues that will have that thing to be addressed. It is not right that there's another project that is coming, a nephrology project. We are being invited when people don't know, Kolubu people don't know about it. The departments that should talk about it, the department that are renal unit and the urogenital and renal, they don't know about the project. And you call such people to speak into a project that they don't know about. And the ministry is rolling out this project without the involvement of the professionals here.
Let's stay on health for a while longer, because for professionals in the mental health sector, their patients' care needs seem to be forgotten by stakeholders. Their pleas for assistance, they say, are mostly not adhered to, with very little aid coming in. They have consistently said the continuous delay of subventions from government has greatly affected their work output, sometimes forcing them to discharge patients when they have not fully recovered. That's why every kind of support, according to them, is essential. Tuesday, members of an NGO, Life Developers Movement, supplied most of the items needed by the Occupational Therapy Department of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital to aid recuperating patients acquire skills. The items include bales of fabric, sewing machines with accessories, and cash of 2,000 cedis. Prince Atoke is vice president of the group.
We realized that the occupational therapy unit was in a very deplorable state, and so it's really touched our heart, and then we decided in our own little way to do something to support the unit. And so we started mobilizing funds somewhere middle of this year, and then God being so good, we have been able to get support from various individuals, and some individuals in Ghana and then outside Ghana as well. And this is what we are seeing here today. We've been able to purchase some few items, sewing machines and some cloths and other things that the occupational therapy unit will need in the process of working. And this is not just going to be the end, but we are hoping that going into the future, we will be able to do more. And also we are using this medium to plead to the Ghanaians out there to not stigmatize and discriminate against individuals with mental illness. But most of them here are not here by choice. It's as a result of some reasons that they are here. Mental illness is just like any other disease that you can think about. So we don't need to stigmatize and discriminate against individuals with mental illness. And so we are pleading with the general public that anytime we come knocking at their doorstep to support the mental health activities, they should try and then support this.
While receiving the items, a nurse at the facility, Emmanuel February, promised the items would be put to good use.
You can see I'm most grateful. In fact, when it comes to occupational therapy department, normally it's supposed to be a means that will help the patient going forward. So when the person discharged from the ward, he or she doesn't become a burden to the society. Because what we do see is our patients after discharge, what happens next? They go to the house, relatives are not catering for them. The society is already neglecting them because when they are coming back, it's a sort of burden to them. The person is unemployed. So what happened to this individual? But once the OT department is put in a good shape, as they're on the ward receiving treatment, they also come here so to learn some kind of trade, and it's going to help them. So one, they're going to be beneficial to themselves, to the society, and Ghana as a whole. So there wouldn't be any burden. So the issue about mental health always needing funds wouldn't be a one-day thing. Because the person comes and is able to be productive, all of us will benefit. So seeing items like these sewing machines and the knitting, probably the general public can now come here. When you're coming to Accra Psychiatry, you are not just coming because of a patient also. You also can also walk in here. Come and get the best of clothing that you can get somewhere at affordable prices. So we can assure you that we'll get the patient. You've seen some of them around. They are going to get most of them here to start work immediately. So the next time you come, you see that the machines that you gave to us wasn't something that we just abandon and place it somewhere. We are going to make good use of it, and we ensure it goes to the benefit of the patients.
You're still watching Joy News Prime, and still ahead there's business, but much later in the bulletin, to operate a joint account or not. That's the question some financial experts would be answering to would-be couples, even as the Joy FM Beauty and Bridal Fair wraps up today. We'll bring you details after the break. You're welcome back. It's time for business, and Emmanuel Abuajiri joins me in the studio now. Emmanuel, I was just telling the viewers that later on in the bulletin we're going to be bringing them details of the bridal fair, even as it wraps up today. Sure. But of course, I'm sure there are business persons who invested in this fair and are reaping, rewards.
Significantly, because almost all the exhibitors and the participants that we talk to are praising this particular fair. They are saying that, in fact, they've reaped so much and it's worth investing into it. And which indicates that indeed is going on well. Okay, we'll be looking forward to hearing from them. Did you pass by for your wedding choice or anything?
You'll have to listen in, and I'm keeping the answer to my chest. But what's in business?
Well, in business tonight, a labor consultant is agitating the fact that numerous holidays are really impacting on productivity in the country. And that's according to a renowned labor consultant, Austin Kwame, who is saying despite the huge costs to the economy as a result of the numerous public holidays within the year, little can be done to reverse the challenge. He was speaking to Joy Business in an interview.
I think that definitely we have a number of holidays that we have to find ways and means of reaching some compromise, as a nation. The fact is that Ghana as a nation, Saturdays and Sundays are virtually non-working days, and that is acceptable to all of us. For that reason, that's the reason why when a holiday should fall on, let's say, a Friday, we are compelled as a people to extend it to Monday. I think that's the area where we can have the compromise. But as to the number of holidays, because of the significance of the holidays themselves, there will be no way politically to be suicidal for any government to sort of say we are reducing one of them to another number. It may not work. And so we should even stop dreaming about it. What we can do is to reach compromise for obvious reasons, talking about productivity, and the fact is that the market will not wait for us because we are not extremely matured economy. I use the word extremely because we claim we are to a large extent as middle-level income people. But I think that where we've gotten to is about time we should reach some compromises among the three social partners, government, employees, and labor, to sort of make some adjustment in the event that any of the holidays should fall on a Friday. Let's take it. Saturday, let's take it, and let's just go forward, enjoy ourselves, and get back to work.
Now, the 14th edition of the Joy FM Beauty and Bridal Fair finally ends tonight. Joy businesses Sarah Josu was at the fairgrounds earlier in the day, interacted with some businesses which took part in the event. There's more in this report.
The 2017 edition of the Joy FM Beauty and Bridal Fair, which opened on the 29th of June, was extended to the 3rd of July instead of the 2nd. Business owners who exhibited their goods at the fair expressed satisfaction at the turnout this year. For CEO of Ruby's Bridal, Ruby Anuma, and Head of Marketing at PMMC, Betty, this year's edition of the Bridal Fair has been their best year yet.
It's been great. Business has been good. We've had a lot of people coming here. It's been extremely successful.
And have you been able to clinch a number of deals?
So many deals. I've had a lot of clients coming to buy gowns, to place orders, and then there's other people who are also coming to the shop next week to buy some gowns as well. It has projected Ruby's Bridal a lot. It has brought me a lot of clients, a lot of exposure and publicity. It's really helped my business. So I would always be coming to the Beauty and Bridal Fair every year.
This particular fair has been an all-time favorite. It's been the best so far. When we compare it to our other fairs that we have, the other bridal fairs that we've participated in, this has been very good. Sales has been very good. Patronage has been very well. It's given us a lot of publicity. I think we've been able to reach out to a lot of potential customers, and I believe most of them will come to our branches and our outlets to get what they want.
For other exhibitors like the CEO of Catherine Garments, Catherine Gordon, and principal consultant of Creme de la Creme, Emma Dowusu, it was the exposure of their brands at the fair that mattered most.
It's created awareness for our business. We think that the caliber of people that come to events are high-placed corporate people, as well as, ordinary individuals, people who walk in, want to have a feel. And we are very grateful for the privilege of reaching out to this varied market, if you may. And looking at the fact that we been able to reach out to people because we do bridal makeup. And so this platform enables us to run a test on our bride-to-be, and most of them are really, very, very happy with the results they get. And then they can come over and book for their bridal makeup or party makeup or whatever it is they want to do. So far, so cool.
This is not my first time being here, so I could compare with the previous participation, and it's been good. Lots of people have come in, they have ordered for stuff that we would go back to the shop to make for them, and I think it's always good associating with Joy FM. Actually, it's made my brand bigger because Joy is a big brand. If a small company associates with Joy, it just grows your business, and I am a testimony to that. It has really grown my business.
Joy FM's Chief Operating Officer, Kwame, organizers of the fair, indicated of plans to engage patrons and vendors in order to get feedback for a better one next year.
Fortunately, we've been able to add another day, and that is giving our clients even better value. But yeah, it's been very nice. I think the attendance has been great, and the wide variety of products has also helped. I think the marriage seminar was also very well attended yesterday. And so, yeah, it's been a great event, and we look forward to a better one next year. I think the best way to go about this is to engage the customers who come here and understand what their expectations are. Maybe they'll give us ideas of what more they want. So it's based on that understanding that we will plan for next year. So we'll get feedback from people who came here, patrons, and then also the exhibitors, and then we'll put it all together again next year.
For Joy Business, Sarah Josu.
A group of industry players in the cosmetics industry is exploring potential business opportunities in the country. The group from DMK Cosmetics, located in South Africa, the US, and some Gulf states, says it is resolved to creating close to 1,000 jobs through the training of cosmetologists and with the establishment of a production plant in Ghana. There's more in this report.
Some cosmetic experts came together to deliberate on how best to explore business opportunities in Ghana through the provision of quality skincare services. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of DMK Cosmetics in Ghana, former Tourism Minister Zita Okankwe called on government to consider investing in cosmetology as it has the potential of raking in much revenue.
If we can produce it here in Ghana, it's good, but that would depend on how the market, people accept it and how well it does on the market. So I'm sure that the people who brought it in, if it does very well, they'll be able to arrange with the producers to probably set up a facility here in Ghana to produce it right here in Ghana, which would help a lot. It would create employment and so on. But currently, although it's not being produced here, it's going to be a source of employment for people because the different spas would buy it and people would, I think they are the main distributors. So at least it will provide jobs for people who want to also be retailers in the product. Yes.
On her part, a special representative of DMK Cosmetics, Imatapelo Impati, assured of her company's resolve to empower more unemployed women with the needed skills to remain entrepreneurial in the industry.
We felt the need to actually bring the product here. It's been in Ghana for almost 2 years, and we felt that, you know what, the secret needs to be out there so that we can help the general public to know about, you know, DMK. So we feel that, you know, it can create even more jobs because then there'll be more people who will be benefiting from the treatment. So if, let's say, you own a salon and you want to actually bring in something that works, because people are really looking for something that really works for their skins.
Now, Senior Minister Yao Safumafu has noted the country's current engagement with China will be beneficial to the two parties. Some economists have criticized Ghana over its close ties with China recently because of the Chinese current track record in Africa and other countries in Asia. But speaking in an interview in China after leading a government delegation to Jere Group headquartered in Yantai, China, the senior minister said a lot has been done to avoid this challenge.
China has the technology. China has the market, and at the moment we have a very good relationship. China is the largest trading partner of Ghana today. As much as $6 billion amount of trade is between China and Ghana, and therefore the relationship is very good. It's higher than in America, it's higher than with Europe, and we think that the future is bright because China has gone through a developmental cycle which is similar to ours. By 1970, China was not developed, but today, about half a century, China is a world power and the second biggest economy of the world. And so we think that we can learn a lot from China, and we believe that China can also teach us a lot. And we coming from Africa is also very important to China because Africa is the future market. So if China is able to do very well in Ghana, it will be a signal to the rest of Africa that China is a good partner.
And that's all we have for you by way of business tonight. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a good evening.
You're welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now, authorities at the St. Don Bosco Special School in Wa in the Upper West region have appealed to the government and other benevolent organizations to provide them with means of transport. The lack of transport for the school, which is for autistic children, sometimes forces authorities to use their personal monies to hire taxis or motorcycles to transport them when they're sick. Headmaster of the school, Bayo Sylvester, made the appeal when Partnership for Rural Development Action donated food items to the school at Wa. Rafiq Salam has more.
The Wa St. Don Bosco Special School was first started 17 years ago
on borrowed premises. The World School for the Deaf ceded part of its structure for it to be established until last year, when the Ghana Education Trust Fund, GET Fund, moved them to a permanent site they have constructed for them. The school has a population of 75 pupils, comprising of 45 boys and 30 girls. One may have thought that their movement to the permanent site would have either ended or at worst reduced their challenges. Apart from the issue of the irregular payment of their feeding grants, they have no means of transport. Sometimes the tutors are forced to hire taxis from their own pocket or at worst pick the sick pupils on the back of their motorbikes to attend to medical care. Bayo Sylvester is the headmaster of the school.
We actually have a lot of challenges. Even fetching for them in our various villages is a big challenge. We bring them in here and training them is equally challenging. We need a lot of helping hands, but very few of us are available. And as you can see, we are isolated. We are a bit far away from town, but here we are, we have no vehicle. Should there be an emergency, if the ambulance should fail to come, then we may be forced to rely on taxis, and it's not that easy.
In order to fill the void left for the delay in the payment of the feeding grants, the school has a backyard garden or greenhouse provided for them by the Zengov, a German-based organization, to enable them produce their own vegetables. It is not only the St. Bosco Special School that is deprived, but their former landlords as well. The World School for the Deaf, established 49 years ago, is also challenged with erratic payment of their feeding grants. Kworo Samuel Babino is the headmaster of the school.
Service our vehicle, buy fuel, we do everything that a school is supposed to pay. But other boarding homes, some of them pick fees, and DOG is many years that it has never come to our school system. And it's not only this school, it's many schools. The release of the money is not as we wish. It doesn't come very early for us to use.
Akin Pruda, Ametus Nuotuo, donated 4 bags of rice, 2 gallons of cooking oil, and other items valued at 1,500 Ghana cedis.
At the situation at hand, it's actually not an easy task. So as a result, we are just a local NGO. As you know, we don't also have much funding, but as part of our social corporate responsibility, we think it's always proper to share the little that you have, especially with the most vulnerable.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
And here in Accra, I'm Araba Kumsa. Now, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, has named President Akufo-Addo as the AU Gender Champion for 2017. President Akufo-Addo was given his award at the opening ceremony of the 29th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of the African Union, which is currently ongoing in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. In making the announcement, the President of Guinea, His Excellency Professor Alpha Condé, who is also the chairperson of the African Union, explained that the decision taken by UNECA to confer the award on President Akufo-Addo is in recognition of his efforts in gender equality at the continental level. It was for this reason that UNECA therefore named President Akufo-Addo as the African Union Gender Champion for the year 2017. Prior to the receipt of the award, the President earlier this year was appointed as chairperson of the AU's Committee on Gender and Development by the AU chairperson, President Alpha Condé. Now, Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, has placed a ransom on the head of the National Science and Maths Quiz Mistress's handbag. The minister expressed great displeasure at the theft of the bag, lamenting the incident has not only robbed the quiz of its value and essence, but also undermined the dignity of education in the country. Addressing the 10th congregation of the St. Francis College of Education in Hoho in the Volta region, Professor Yankah said the incident has awakened the need for holistic education in the country.
The Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yanka, said the Akufo-Addo-led government's decision to instill virtues of education in students must involve teachers, parents, religious bodies and communities. He, however, placed a ransom on the head of the bag thief and urged anybody who has information on the missing bag to report to the Ministry of Education.
A kind of penalty and punitive sentence will inflict on the child. The period in his life he or she is most vulnerable. The time it hurts most during his years in basic school. The most important part of the journey towards good education, towards good life. But it all simply means we have to split our priorities as a nation.
He stressed that the phenomenon where some children could not access education due to poverty is a motivation for the government to redefine education, giving access for all. He, however, urged the newly qualified teachers to be ethical, committed, and self-motivated to enable them transfer same values to pupils to restore morality and self-discipline.
All fields of learning are currently progressing at an alarming pace. And as well, the new generation of kids you are going to teach have a considerably different approach to learning. But in order for you to be most effective and relevant, you necessarily need to be abreast with current trends in education and the newest pedagogical approaches adjusted to the needs of the 21st century. As teachers, you must cultivate the habit of reading to remain well-informed, knowledgeable, and abreast with current issues.
The Deputy Volta Regional Minister, Maxwell Blagoji, noted that government aims to achieve its target of training 7,000 teachers annually, hence the introduction of several interventions, including the restoration of teachers' allowance.
To encourage and motivate people to be trained as teachers, government instituted the payment of training allowances. This policy was abolished and replaced with the student loan and fee grant in 2014. Implementation of the new policy was met with resistance from students from.
The principal of St. Francis College of Education, Raphael Kwejokwachi, expressed grief at the speed at which people are encroaching on the school's lands and appealed to government to intervene to secure the land.
Unless the government of you, Pope Franciscans, the Catholic Church, and other well-meaning citizens of we act swiftly to help the college call the Kanka and reclaim the land, the college will be left with virtually no land to expand for future programs.
He also appealed for government to put up more infrastructure for staff and students.
And some senior government officials are aware of this.
470 students were graduated, out of which only 9 had first class, 150 and 229 had second class upper and lower, respectively. 77 students obtained third class and 5 had passed. Fred Kwame Asare, Joy News.
Now, high electricity bills and cost of fueling a power generator are draining the coffers of St. Louis Senior High School in Kumasi. Authorities say they spend over 30,000 Ghana cedis monthly and double the amount to fuel the school's generator when supply from the national grid is interrupted. Nana Sensumensa has more in the following report.
Headmistress Theresa Ade tells Love News the school spends over 40% of its internally generated funds on electricity at the expense of teaching and learning materials. She says the problem is compounded by frequent power outages. Ms. Ade suggests government install solar panels for supply of power to administration blocks of second cycle schools in order to reduce consumption costs.
On the average, the school pays around 30,000 cedis a month for electricity bill alone. As for water, we are lucky. We have installed our own water system, so water company does not get anything from us. But that means that the light bill goes up a little because we use electricity in pumping the water for use in the school. The lights out situation has even affected our school clinic. For example, a student will be being mobilized and then it just goes off. You have to rush, go and put on the generator. Anything at all can happen to the students. And to this end, I'm appealing to government that if they can support all the secondary schools in some area, either the administration or the school kitchen, with a solar system, is going to help the schools a lot. Because many of us don't have IGF. Even if you have, it's very little that it cannot take care of these situations. So now that Dr. Kwame has given the school administration this solar system.
Now, to operate a joint account or not, that's the question ultimately all couples seeking to live together for the rest of their lives are confronted with. The Bible says, and the two shall become one. But does that extend to sharing your personal finances? The answer is yes and no, according to financial experts who say there is no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to couples and their finances. Every couple is unique, and there are advantages to sharing an account and keeping separate accounts. As the Joy Bridal and Beauty Fair wraps up today, some of them have been offering financial tips that will help avoid conflict in marriages. Listen to the team lead for Fidelity Communications, Anane Yao Kuonu, speaking earlier about what he recommends, the hybrid account, on the Super Morning Show.
If we have a hybrid account, right, we have a joint, I have separate or personal, and you do have personal too. Maybe some little percentage of money would, you know, fall in my personal account. I could do that with it. Things that I believe will not exactly inure to the benefit of the family, that, well, you still want to indulge anyway. She probably wants to, you know, do some long nails or something, and, you know, that ultimately is not going to inure to the benefit of the nuclear family, but she can do it from her personal account.
Look nice in the family pictures.
You know, exactly. Well, it might help in terms of, you know, bringing peace and harmony to have one central account that we have dedicated to running the home, out of which we have also decided that we are going to tie in our retirement plan or our savings plan or whatever. In which case, if I'm dedicating, say, like 60% of my earnings into that account, I know that I'm doing that. And the remaining 40%, I have other things to do with it. For example, taking care of my external family, she taking care of her external family, those things.
Well, a joint or separate account is not the only decision the new couple must make. The experts recommend 4 types of funds fresh brides and grooms must invest in if they are to enjoy wedded bliss. Executive Director at Databank Asset Management Services Limited, Reverend Daniel Ogbamitete, explains.
This year's exhibition, the 14th in the series, has been one of the most patronized. Many of the exhibitors told stories of increased sales and improved number of visitors.
This particular fair has been fantastic. The first 2 days was low, but Saturday and Sunday was super. Lots of people came in, and
number one must be an emergency account, because emergencies occur without notice. No one is excluded, you know, so they must create an emergency account. The experts say that you must have at least 6 months of your monthly income in an emergency account. So when the two of you combine your salaries, and let's say it's maybe 5,000 Ghana cedis a month, the two of you, so you multiply that by 6, that means that you must build an emergency fund equal to about 30,000. Okay, and the thing about the emergency fund, the more the better. But apart from emergency fund, you must have a project fund, because you know, you would definitely, you know, want to tackle one project or the other, building or whatever, you know, and you don't want to wait till late before you are scrambling all over the place. And then set another fund for education, because education is one of the best gift you can give to your children. And as you know, quality education is not cheap. And then you must create a retirement fund. Many people postpone retirement till late because they think that I'm creating a retirement fund till late because they think that, it's further down the line. But before you say Jack, you are close to going on retirement.
So now you know which accounts you must set up as a new couple in order to make your marriage an enjoyable one. Well, speaking of couples, the Joy FM Beauty and Bridal Fair comes to an end tonight. The fair, which is a one-stop shop for all things bridal, was extended by a day following popular demand by patrons who flocked the venue, the Accra International Conference Center. Let's get the latest on what's been happening at the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair. Justice Bedu has been there. He's come through with this report.
This year's exhibition, the 14th in the series, has been one of the most patronized. Many of the exhibitors told stories of increased sales and improved number of visitors.
This particular fair has been fantastic. The first 2 days was slow, but Saturday and Sunday was super. Lots of people came in and to patronize us. We had a lot of contacts, and I know I've had an experience before, so I know that they are all going to come back to follow us to our shop and they will buy.
They actually like our finishing. Our clothes, they are exclusive. Everything they buy, even if they don't buy and they come to just view, they don't feel like going because they are actually catched by the way our items are. They are so nice. They admire our things.
For buyers, it was all excitement at the discounted sales that were being run by the exhibitors.
So far it's been good because the discount is very nice compared to when you go to the shop itself. But today I'm really having fun. I really like the discounts, yes. If they do it next year, I'll come again.
In fact, I came with a friend. She's getting married soon, and I've gotten a lot of stuff. Like, we have some Nivea products here. We've got a soap. We've gotten some jewelries as well. Yes. I've gotten things on the low price. I think the prices are so cool.
Organizers say next year's edition promises to be even bigger. Samuel Watson Tete, its sales and marketing manager for Joy FM.
It's been a great success from day one. We were blown away, Immediately we started from Thursday. Traditionally it has been 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the expectation was that huge, so we need to add Monday being a holiday, we added Monday to it, and it's been well today. Normally when we start, attention, because people are working Thursday, Friday, you see people coming in after work. But this year's has been extraordinary. This has been so extraordinary. You got people coming after lunch, to come and shop. It's been well, so great, so great. Understand? We have a planning committee. We want to get about 10 of the exhibitors and sponsors so that we pick some suggestions that they've realized here, that they think if we put things together next year, we'll really go well for the fair. So we involve them from day one. Immediately after Christmas, we'll start planning for 2018 Bridal Fair. And they're going to be so key to next year's planning so that we pick all the necessary corrections that we've realized. Then we just have a good fair next year.
The Joy FM Beauty and Bridal Fair celebrates marriage and everything that comes with it, including catering, makeup, bridal dresses, honeymoon venues, and more.
So thank you for joining us. I'm Arba Kumsing from me and the rest of the team. Thanks for staying with us. We're back tomorrow. Good night.
This is Joy News Prime.